Next. Top headlines this morning. Congress to hold a key Central Election Committee meet today will finalize list of candidates for Punjab, Haryana, Bihar and the national capital. Sheikh Shahjahan's custody in the assault on ED officials case ends today, likely to be extended. He is also the central figure in the Sandesh Khali horror. The two Rameswaram cafe blast accused are taken to Bengaluru after a Kolkata court granted transit remand to the accused. Three people injured in a gunfight between armed village volunteers and unidentified gunmen in Manipur's Tengnopal district. US President Joe Biden warns Iran against taking military action against Israel following Syrian embassy attack. India has asked its citizens to not travel to both Iran and Israel due to rising tensions in the region. A very good morning. You're watching the Morning Express this Saturday. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. In fact, tracking all the latest from across the country and the globe, from breaking global headlines to all that's making news from across the country. Let's first begin with the advisory that's now been issued on part of India to those who are living in Israel. In fact, note this is an advisory that's been issued in wake of reports doing the rounds that there could be an attack on Israel by Iran. So tracking those details very closely. Let's go across to Aditya, who's joining us live from Vijay Chowk. Aditya, once again, if you can take us to the advisory that's been issued over a possible attack on Israel by Iran.
So the Ministry of External Affairs has issued an advisory for the Indian citizens to not to travel to Israel and Iran in the upcoming days due to the threat of an Iranian attack on Israel in retaliation to the attack on Israeli consulate by Iran on April 1, in which 7 Iran revolutionary guards were killed. So also the MEA has cautioned that the citizens who have been living in who are in Iran and Israel need to immediately register themselves with the Indian embassy there. So last evening, several of dozens of rockets were fired by Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran, into Israel, which makes the region a possibility. Which makes the region possible to a wider escalation. So, Israel, in the recent months, we have seen that Israel has already been embroiled with a military conflict with the Hamas, in which many Israeli citizens have been killed. So this needs to be seen as to what the further course of action takes place. And the United States is, as per the sources in MEA, even the Washington feels that Iran might attack Israel in the upcoming days.
All right, Aditya, thank you for the moment. So that's an advisory that's been issued by India to those living in Israel. Note, this comes, as Aditya was telling us, in the backdrop of reports doing the round that there could be an attack on Israel on part of Iran. This, of course, after an Israeli airstrike on April 1st on Iranian diplomat that killed 7 people, including 3 generals. Now, it would be everybody's dream to at least visit to space once in their lifetime. Well, some people are turning it into reality, but a lot of us would have had to work a lot harder to become an astronaut to go into space. In fact, in best space, tourism is increasingly becoming popular, with Blue Origin being one of the companies that is offering a chance to go into lower Earth orbit. What will intrigue you, however, is a new story that we are bringing to you, that an Indian pilot, Gopi Chand, he's all set to become the second Indian in history after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma to go into space. In fact, this time as a space tourist in Blue Origin's NS-25 spacecraft. For more on this, take a look at this report.
Gopi Chand Thotakura has been selected as part of the crew of Blue Origin New Shepard 25 mission. This will make him the first Indian space tourist and the second Indian to venture into space after Indian Air Force's Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma in 1984. While the date of the flight is yet to be decided, Gopi Chand shed light on how his lifelong dream of going into space is about to come true.
I believe it's always a lofty, it's always a very aspirational dream, especially for us Indians. I believe every child, when they are growing up, at some point they want to be a pilot. It crosses their mind at some point, is what I think. There's a select few who actually get to become pilots, and we're amongst those few. And finally, it's happened now. So NS-25 is scheduled, as you see on the news, and we will be going to low Earth orbit in the near future.
Gopi Chand will go into lower orbit in the New Shepard program, which will mark the 25th flight of the spacecraft and the 7th human flight in its history. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, Mumbai witnessed a harmonious blend of music and meditation as Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar led an event commemorating Viksit Bharat. The occasion, held in honor of Viksit Bharat, saw the spiritual guru and founder of Art of Living organization, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, laud the Prime Minister's vision. In fact, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar also emphasized on the importance of embracing the concept of Viksit Bharat for its realization. The spiritual guru also noted Prime Minister's pride in his Hindu identity and his inclusive attitude towards all. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, not just that, even encouraged people to not feel ashamed of their cultural heritage and stressed on the need for religious equality. Speaking to a gathering of more than 25,000 attendees, the spiritual guru urged the abandonment of any sense of inferiority and emphasized the importance of breaking free from a mentality of subservience, expressing optimism about achieving this goal in the near future.
आस्था को कोई मिटा नहीं सकता, कुछ समय दबा के रख सकते हैं। तो इस देश में भी हर व्यक्ति, हर कोने के हर व्यक्ति आस्था तो रखते हैं, मगर चुप चुप के करते हैं। गुरु जी से मिलना हो तो रात को चुप चुप के मिलने जाओ, मंदिर जाना हो तो चुप चुप के जाके पूजा करके आ जाओ, कोई नहीं देखे। इस तरह से करते आए इतने साल। अब हमारे देश के एक प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे आए जो खुल के टीका लगा के अपना अस्तित्व को पर गर्व करने लगे, तो जनता भी उस बात को मानने लगे। भाई सबको सम्मान करते हैं अपना, मगर अपना अस्तित्व पर शर्माना नहीं चाहिए। सब हमारा सर्वधर्म समभाव होना है, बहुत आवश्यक है। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम चुपी चोरे बैठ के राम राम जपे, चुप चुप के बैठ के राम नाम जपे जैसे हम कोई गुनाह कर रहे हो। ये भाव मिटना, गुलामी का जो भाव जो भर दी गई है हमारे भीतर, उससे हमें बाहर आना है। मैं समझता हूं बहुत ज्यादा हम लोग बाहर आ ही चुके हैं, फिर भी थोड़ा थोड़ा बचा हुआ है इधर उधर, उससे भी लोगों को बाहर निकालना है। हम समझते हैं अभी आने वाले कुछ सालों में वो भी संभव हो जाएगा, वो भी संभव हो जाएगा। देखो कोई भी मंदिर का उद्घाटन आते हैं लोग, राजनेता आएंगे, रिबन काटेंगे, दिया जलाएंगे, माला पहन करके चले जाते हैं। मगर कोई व्यक्ति वो निष्ठा से करे ये बात, वो अनुकरणीय होता है। तो 11 दिन उपवास रखे और रामेश्वरम में जाए, वहां से आए, पूरा जहां जहां राम गए, जहां जहां वो पूरा पथ पर आकर के करे, वो दिखावा के लिए नहीं हो सकता है। ये ऐसी काम दिखावा करने वाला ऐसे नहीं कर सकता। ये दिखावा की बात नहीं है, वो सच्चाई दिखती है वहां। दिल से किसी का किसी चीज में श्रद्धा है, लगन है, वो करते हैं ऐसे। तो विकसित भारत पहले शुरू होता है हमारे भीतर। हमारा मन कितना विकसित है, कितने हम प्रसन्न हैं। हाँ? देखो जब आप खुश होते हो, क्या होता है आपके भीतर से? आपको लगता है कुछ फैल रहा है। यू फील समथिंग इज एक्सपैंडिंग, राइट? व्हाट इज एसोसिएटेड विथ एक्सपेंशन? विकास के साथ क्या एसोसिएटेड है? हाँ? खुशी। When you are happy, कोई आपको कॉम्प्लीमेंट देते हैं तो आपके भीतर ऐसा लगता है कुछ विकसित हो रहा है, आप फैल रहे हो अंदर से। और आपको कोई गाली गलौज देते, कुछ नकारात्मक बातें कहते, तो क्या होता है जैसे हम सिकुड़ रहे हैं, कोई चीज सिकुड़ रहा है हमारे भीतर। तो हमारे ऋषियों ने कहा प्रसार सतु विज्ञेय, जो तुम्हारे भीतर विकसित हो रहा है उस पर तुम ध्यान दो। वो क्या है? हमारी चेतना है। हाँ, तनाव हो तो चेतना विकसित नहीं हो सकता। तनाव मिटे तभी आप विकसित व्यक्तित्व और विकसित भारत के बारे में सोच सकते।
All right, so spiritual guru Shri Shri Ravi Shankar speaking at Viksit Bharat event, calling for unity of all. On that note, shifting focus to a quick roundup of news and brief from across the country. Sandesh Khali accused Shah Jahan Sheikh's custody with the ED would conclude today. Shah Jahan Note was detained by the ED on charges of extensive financial exploitation and allegations of sexual harassment. CBI received around 50 complaints related to land grab and alleged assault on women on the first day of launching the dedicated mail ID to lodge complaints. The CBI will verify the complaint and register an FIR as well. According to sources, there have been numerous complaints alleging land grabbing by politically influential individuals. Prime Minister Modi met leading online gamers in India ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. The gamers used the hashtag #GameInIndia on their social media platforms, indicating that Prime Minister assured them of government support for the gaming and esports industry to boom in India. Beg your pardon. The full video of the interaction is set to be released today itself. Polls are around the corner and the BJP will release its manifesto on 19th of April. High-level meetings will take place on the discussion of the manifesto. Note that the panel on BJP manifesto is helmed by Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh. Congress Central Election Committee would chair a meet at the AICC headquarters in the national capital. The agenda includes discussion on selecting candidates for the Lok Sabha seats in Himachal Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. Sources indicate that a meet will be held to discuss and finalize candidates for the Lok Sabha polls following separate meetings of screening committees in Punjab, Haryana and Bihar. China and India have made constructive strides in addressing the border standoff with ongoing communication between both countries through diplomatic military channels. The remarks by China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson clarified China's response to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent statement emphasizing the importance of New Delhi's relationship with Beijing and the need to promptly resolve the prolonged border situation. Now, with that, we shift our focus to election segment, our 2024, where the political landscape is ablaze with controversies and debates. In fact, today we will delve into the aftermath of Mamata Banerjee's remarks, which have stirred up a storm of controversy and ignited fierce discussions across the country. We'd also dissect the latest developments and analyze the implications as the electoral battle heats up, and with just days to go for the Lok Sabha polls. While she addressed a Muslim community at a mosque in Kolkata on the occasion of Eid ul-Fitr, the BJP is now set to move the Election Commission.
TMC chief Mamata Banerjee has stirred up controversy yet again. Addressing a gathering at an Eid prayer, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee reaffirmed the state's stance against the CAA, NRC and UCC. Taking a jibe at BJP, she cautioned the assembly against falling prey to schemes of some people during the elections.
हम तो छोटा आसमान चाहते हैं, सुंदर आसमान, जिसके लिए सब लोगों ने एक साथ में रहेगा.
The BJP has now filed a complaint to EC over Bengal Chief Minister's remarks. Despite ECI warning time and again to be respectful during poll campaigns, the opposition continues to defy it. Is this what the opposition mean by a level playing field? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And with that, we shift our focus to the business segment, where we navigate the currents of the financial world from the shores of banking giants like JP Morgan reporting a notable 6% rise in profits to the soaring trajectory of precious metals, with gold breaching the significant milestone of 73,000. But that's not all. We delve into the future, where Indian real estate projects, a staggering worth of $1.5 trillion, is estimated by 2034. Meanwhile, tech behemoth the TCS has charted a steady course, boasting a 9% rise in profits, soaring to 12,434 crore rupees. Stay tuned as we unravel the intricacies and impacts of these and many more financial milestones. Now, the Supreme Court rejected an affidavit from Patanjali where the company had issued an unconditional apology for its misleading advertisements. The court also warned both Baba Ramdev as well as Patanjali MD Acharya Balakrishna to brace themselves for potential repercussions. However, this incident has marked a recurrent pattern of legal intervention aimed at curbing deceptive
in their ad campaigns. While hearing a contempt plea against Patanjali Ayurved and its founders Ramdev and his disciple Balakrishna, the bench reiterated that the purpose is to protect faceless people who take medicines under the impression of misleading advertisements. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And on that note, here's a quick roundup of news in brief from the world of business. JP Morgan Chase profit has come above estimates in the first quarter, but shares dropped after the bank's forecast for income from interest payments fell short of analysts' expectations. Even with the fall in shares, analysts say that it was yet another solid quarter from the bank. High borrowing costs have helped lenders boost net interest income. However, banks are factoring in the possibility of cuts in interest rates by the US Federal Reserve later this year. Gold and silver prices rallied for the fourth straight session and hit fresh peaks. Gold gained sharply by more than 1,000 rupees to breach the 73,000 per 10-gram level. Amid bullish global trend, it had closed at 72,300 per 10 grams in the previous session. Silver, on the other hand, the prices of which zoomed 1,400 rupees to hit a new record of 86,300 per kg. The value of the Indian real estate sector will touch an estimate of $1.5 trillion by 2034. This will constitute 15% of the total economic output. India's economic growth in the next decade will depend heavily on several factors, including a growing young population, bolstered domestic manufacturing, infrastructure development, and urban expansion. Last year, the sector's market size was approximately contributing to 7.3% to the total economic output. Country's largest software service company, Tata Consultancy Services, reported a 9.1% growth in its March quarter. Net profit at 12,434 crore rupees. Its smaller peers, including Infosys and Wipro, are scheduled to report their results next week. Company's growth in the last quarter financial year 2023-2024 was led by India business, which rose by 37.9%. And with that, shifting focus to the world of sports, where the action never stops and the excitement is always at its peak. Today, we get ready as Rajasthan Royals prepare to lock horns with Punjab Kings in what promises to be a thrilling showdown. In other cricket news, Delhi Capitals triumphed over Lucknow Super Giants in a gripping encounter, showcasing their prowess on the field. And on that note,